You can see here that we've got a little case of, well, I guess the right term is delamination. That's the friction material off the parking brake shoe, and it's no longer attached. That one's okay. Oh, there it goes. So that's seeing better today. So what we'll do to get at that easier, I'll take off the hubs. They just come off. You pop this cap off and there's a big nut. And that gets the hub out of the way. It'll make it way easier to do this job. Parking brake shoes are installed on the right side, as well as the new flex hose. It stakes all along behind the back of the trailing arm. I've got the shock absorber down. I had to use the torch to get that baby out. So we're progressing quite nicely on the right side. This is the hub off the right rear. This is the back side of it. The light's terrible. Here's the tone wheel for the ABS. It's all full of crud, like the front ones were. So I'm going to go ahead and wire brush that all out so that it can easily count the pulses. There's the sensor. Where are you? There, right there. There's the sensor. That's what does the counting. So let me get this cleaned up and we'll pop the hub back on. Left side's all done now. Shock in. Parking brake shoes replaced. Flex hose replaced. Got the ABS wire all tethered up. This is good. Now we're going to go inside and check the adjustment on the parking brake. See how that is. Let's see. Yeah, it comes up way too high. So we'll crank them up a bit. These are the rear flex hoses off of this thing. Look at them. They're pretty crusty. I'm glad I changed them. They probably would have worked okay for a while to come, but no sense leaving them on there. Let's start fresh. Everything under here is nice and new now. There they are. You can see the end of it. All our new stuff in there. Oh, this is going to be a nice little car for somebody. The rocker panel is pretty bad. This is some body work that we're going to have to do to fix up. The other side only had a couple of small holes back here. I just pushed it in and put some body filler in it. It's so minor, but this side is going to need metal work. Now, what to do? Well, thankfully, our parts car over here has one aftermarket repair panel on the rocker. I've already started removing it. It was just installed with self-drilling screws. So, you can see I've taken some of the screws out. I'll get this off. I'm not going to put the whole thing on that car because, well, for one thing, it's the wrong side. But I'm going to take this off. I'm going to cut out a section that I need to repair that one. And, I wrecked it with the jack. Man, this thing is rotten. I better move the jack before I go crawling under there. Here's the panel removed from the car. Kind of a lovely looking thing, but once it dries, we'll get it cleaned up. We'll get it treated inside and out, and it'll be just fine. We're only going to use a little piece of it. It just saves me bending it out of another piece of metal. So I'll put this over here to dry. Like so. And you can see the mess of the rocker panel on this poor old car. These patch panels are a savior for us folks up in the Rust Belt. Look at that, eh? Fun, wow. Wow, is this whole thing rotten. I'm not going to put this entire panel on because, for one thing, it's for the wrong side. And on the other hand, I only need a little piece for the back of it. So what I've done here, I've cut to length what I need. And I'm not going to wrap it right up into the door jamb. So I took that off. This car isn't really that bad to warrant all this. And that makes a hell of a mess. putting it up into there. A lot more body work that I don't need to do. So I'm gonna test fit this now, and we'll see how it looks. I'm just getting this snow cleaned up, and then I can go back in the garage and get back working on the car. Been out here for, I don't know, hour and a half. Nice way to spend a Sunday morning anyway. They said they're not gonna have a white Christmas in Toronto, but kind of think it's gonna happen now. This is way better than the way I used to do with the truck and roll the pile on it. Nice. It's a 2012 Kubota B3000 cab. It's 30 horsepower. This thing is the nuts. Let's go see what kind of a mess the snowplow made of my other driveway. Put this baby away now, and we can get back to work on the car. I've been working away to get this panel fitted. The thing with these patch panels is they're for rust repair. They're what we call an over panel or a slip-on panel. It's not like a factory replacement panel where you take the old panel off and put the new panel on and it fits. These things are made to go over what's there, and people will put them on with a variety of methods. They've got actually some adhesives now that are designed for body work. You can use that. Some people put them on with rivets. Some people just put them on with self-drilling screws. That's how this one was on the parts car. That's what made it really easy to get it off. I'm going to use a variety of methods to put it on. I've cleaned up the original pinch weld under here. So what we've done, I've gone ahead and drilled holes on the bottom. We'll replicate the factory spot welds, and that's called a plug weld. So we'll plug weld the bottom, and then up here I'm going to use countersunk pop rivets, and then when I do the Bondo and everything, they'll just disappear. I could weld it, I guess, but it's just really time consuming and doesn't make any difference. This panel on these little cars is not really all that structural. Like it's paper thin metal. It's more decoration than anything. So we'll be okay. But getting this thing to fit when you've only got half of it is a little bit of a challenge, because the transition from my patch to the original car, I had to do a bit of work on this panel because it's just not made to do that. And before I put it on, I'll coat the inside of it with with Pore 15 or some trim clad primer, just to give it a fighting chance. But anyway, I'll let you know once I'll be back when I've got it up there and it's ready to go on for keeps. Part of the reason these things rot out is, you can see here, where is it? It's hard to work my camera upside down. There, right there. That's the factory drain. The rocker's got 3 of these, or 4 of them maybe, along its length, and they get packed with crud. So then the moisture and stuff that's in there can't get out, and guess what happens next? A rotten rocker, especially on cars with sunroofs, because the drain tubes for the sunroof run down the doorposts into the rockers to get out on some cars. I don't know if it does on this one. I can't see up in there. Anyway, we're going to fix this baby up and she'll be as good as new.